Here comes Davis. Oh my God! Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game.
Hello and welcome to this episode of War Eagle Weekly. How we doing, Josh?
We doing.
We got ourselves a win last week, beating South Alabama 31-15. Pretty decisive win, if you ask me. I I don't know if I should read too much into this game, Josh.
I think I would read more into it than obviously you are.
Okay.
I still don't really have any concerns about Jackson Arnold. I think he has been super solid all season long. My problem is the secondary, dude. Kay and Lee.
Hmm.
I mean, I've watched so much footage from last week, and Kay and Lee is just constantly looking in the backfield and watching the quarterback instead of watching his assignment. I think that's a really big problem 3 games into the season. And I mean, we're allowing over 200, I think 220 passing yards a game so far this season.
Okay.
And
And
we
that's
keep that
with
up
the
against Oklahoma.
abysmal Ball State stats that they had passing. So,
Yeah.
yeah. The thing is we've had some of our listeners tell us, that we're a little too doom and gloom, and that we're that Auburn people in general just expect things to be blowouts every week and things like
Yeah.
that. But I think for the most part, I thought it was a decisive win. No, there were things that uh, looked good, and know that there were things that looked bad. I'm kind of okay with some of the bad things because I was listening to the Barn, shout out to the Barn, their live stream of the game, and they were talking about how there was a lot of young guys playing on defense. And I think that was a lot of my issues, is that they were rotating so many people. And one of the people on the Barn was talking about how maybe DJ Durkin is just sandbagging everybody and is just making Oklahoma watch some of the bad play from guys that really aren't going to see the field too much. And come Oklahoma and come rest of SEC play, that rotation is going to be cut down. I think there's probably a part of that that's a little bit true, but for the most part, I mean, we held them, like you said. It was they had 170 yards passing, 140 yards rushing, which is the most rushing yards we've given up on the season. Um, but there were a lot of good things that I saw on defense, and I saw a lot of young players make plays. Kieran Crawford with the interception, and also with Jared Smith out there looking like an effing unit, dude, and getting the ball on the sack that was made. Or it wasn't a sack; it was a rush play by the quarterback. All in all, uh, you know, I to answer our second topic, did our defense do enough to squash our concerns? I don't think they did. I do still have some concerns, but I also see that they were rotating a lot of players and playing a lot of people.
I did notice them rotating a lot of players. I do think all of our cards are not on the table just yet on both sides of the ball. I was thinking about what you're talking about, how about DJ Durkin rotating in a lot of young guys. Um, but in my opinion, I liked more from what I saw from the younger guys than I did some of the starters, especially in the tackling techniques from the younger guys. It seems like they come straight out of high school and they're still focused on the fundamentals of football from high school in terms of tackling.
Yeah.
But I do feel like there are still some things that none of our coaches have really laid out there for the tougher opponents to see. Um, yeah, but I just hopefully that is the case where all of our cards aren't on the table and we still have a lot more to show, and maybe they're just playing mind games like you mentioned. But all in all, I'm not mad at the win.
Yeah.
I wish we
You
didn't
can't be mad
give
at a
up that
31
second
15.
touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you can't really be mad with a W, especially by a multi-score win. It's just I'm just being nitpicky right now.
Yeah.
Everything else, I enjoyed everything else I saw from everybody. I feel like everybody's starting to really get the groove of everything and start to trust one another. I just still have concerns, especially with Caleb Harris and Kay and Lee.
Yeah. And that's a good concern. Caleb Harris, he took some bad angles. Sylvester Smith had a really bad. He got beat real bad on a I can't remember that route, what the name of that route is, but I mean it was a quick inside outside route, and he really didn't look good. I think you hit the nail on the head. There were some young guys that looked better and were making better plays than the older guys, and some of the presumed starters heading into SEC play. So in that sense, yeah, it does kind of concern me. I Jay Crawford, I think, gave up a couple of receptions in this game. We haven't seen him give up many receptions, but let's talk about some of the things that were still encouraging. Okay, we had 7 tackles for a loss in this game. Okay, went into this game with 19, leading the SEC with 19 tackles for a loss. Got 7 more in this game and got 1 sack. Their quarterback was very elusive. And so the fact that we only got 1 sack, it's understandable. I believe that was on a 3rd down play where Keldrick Falk just finally said, okay, enough of this crap, and just went flying in and just took over that snap, if I remember correctly. That was in the first half.
I could have swore it was Jared Smith that got the only sack, and it was a fumble. Pretty sure it was Jared Smith.
I'm sure our commenters will let us know below. Please comment below. Let us know which one of us was right, because I thought it was Keldrick Fault, but it could have been Jared Smith,
It was
because
definitely just Jared Smith. I just checked
I
it. Fact
okay,
check, fake news.
look at that. There you go. Jared Smith with the I'm trying to give Keldrick Falk way too much credit. The thing is, it was still encouraging to see the defensive line dominate. Now, they did not dominate the way that they have recently, but we're not going to be playing Ball State every week. And I think
No.
the Baylor game, and as far as the way the defensive line reacted, is a better indication of what we're going to see, because they also looked like they were out there running through sand. Halftime, Hugh Freeze was interviewed and he was talking to the reporter and said that it looked like everybody was a half step slow. Everybody was sluggish, and it's 11:45 a.m. game, so that's to be expected. Plus, it's South Alabama still.
I mean, South Alabama, I think, in my opinion, is up there to win the Sun Belt next to Troy.
Hmm.
So again, I don't think South Alabama is a bad team. I don't think they were an easy out. The score may make you think it was an easy out, but it definitely wasn't. The guys had to fight for everything they got in that game. South Alabama really had nothing to lose, and they were laying everything on the field. So, I
Yeah.
mean, I really don't. I wasn't expecting a huge blowout win.
I wasn't expecting a huge blowout win. I didn't think we were going to cover the point spread. I thought the over on the points was going to be where it was at, but still, for my point, I think I'm a little bit more secure with the defense, because it's the first 3 games of the season. These last 2 games we've been getting a lot of young guys getting in there, which we're going to need them to step up, especially at linebacker. And the young linebackers have been killing it this year. I
They've been
mean,
really
Xavier
good.
Atkins has been looked amazing. Bryce Diaz, whenever he flashes, he flashes real hard. Elijah Mendez has looked pretty good as well. I didn't see any really negative things to say about the linebackers in the passing game. So all in all, I'm feeling more comfortable with the defense. I think you raised good concerns over Kay and Lee. He just really has not bounced back. He had a bad sophomore season, in my opinion, and I think he's right now, like you said, he's looking too much into the backfield, looking at the quarterback. Maybe once we get to SEC play, when he's playing against better competition and better receivers, he's going to rely on reading the receiver and playing it that way. And so I'm hoping that that's the case, and that he wasn't just trying to make a play for the ball and try to get an interception, because a lot of times when you're looking in the backfield, that's kind of what you do. Caleb Harris, I have no idea what's going on with him. I think he is in that sophomore slump. Every defensive player
It's
seems to have it.
mind-boggling.
Yeah.
It's not like he forgot how to play football in one offseason, because he had a really, really good freshman season, and all of a sudden it's mind-boggling. I don't think he's a bad player. I think he should
No.
keep his starting spot, but it's just he's got to figure this out, man. I don't know if he's got to go on like a 7-day fast and get right with God or what. I don't know, but I'm hoping he can get it right. I mean, give South Alabama credit where it's due, though. I know I gave them a lot of shit in our preseason game predictions. I
Yes, you
said some
did.
pretty
There
nasty, not
was
nice things.
there were some people that took very big offense to what
Yeah,
you said.
they did, and I know I gave them a lot of shit. And I mean, they're a good ball team. They're going to win a lot of games this
Yeah, they
season.
are.
So
They
hopefully,
look good.
this was the test that Auburn's defense really needed, so they can really shore some things up, so they can show more against Oklahoma and John Mateer's Heisman race.
Yeah. And I agree, and we will be talking about Oklahoma in tomorrow's video. So make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so that way you are notified when we drop that video. But I'll also put a link over here in the top corner as well. I know I'm back and forth here. I will put a link up there at the
John
top
Travolta
as
here.
well once it does come out. And that leads me to my next question, not the John Travolta. Has no relation to the War Eagle Weekly podcast. But was the offense executed in a way that we wanted to see? I have an answer for that, Josh. I want to get your opinion on this because we haven't talked much about it.
I actually do think it was executed pretty darn well. I mean, there was some. I'm not going to name names, but Preston Howard dropped the easiest touchdown he could have possibly had all
Yeah,
season long,
yeah.
and I mean, we threw in a lot of plays that we haven't really seen all season, and I really liked the way the offense looked. Me being, I still would like to see more passing yards, but that's not a knock on Jackson Arnold. He's taking what the defense is giving to him. He's not trying to do too much, and that's really all I can ask for at this point in time. But all in all, I would give the offensive performance and execution an 8 out of 10.
Okay. Now, see, I think a lot of our viewers are possibly going to disagree with you. I think there's going to be some that are going to be happy to hear us, not be so critical about the offense. But
You
I think there are going to be some that do disagree with this statement because we scored 3 points in the second half. But I think what we talked about in the lead up to the South Alabama game, where we said, honestly, we just wanted the team to come out there and run the offense, and in the first half they did. They put up 21 points in the second quarter. Okay, I think Hugh Freeze at that point said, "Okay, going into halftime, we've seen all we need to out of the offense. We're okay." We had some dropped passes. Jackson Arnold finished the game 13 of 24, which is not great. It's not great, just below 50% passing. I'm sorry, just over 50%
due to
passing.
drops.
There was some
There was a
drops. There
lot of
really were a
drops.
lot of drops, but I still there were some things that I saw that they were working on. I think in the second half, it looked like they went back to working on some drop back passes. There was a lot less RPO, unless they needed it. They kind of went back to that bag whenever they wanted to pick up a third down or a fourth down, and they looked good when they did it. But I think they stopped showing things in the second half because I think the coaching staff looked at that and said, I really have seen everything I need to see. We're just gonna just run the ball. We're gonna pound the ball. Jackson Arnold had 10 rushes, which I would have liked to see less of that. 19 by Jeremiah Cobb, 5 by Omar Madsen, and Eric Singleton had 3. So we were out there running the ball 39 times in this game. I mean, we were begging for the coaching staff to run Jarquez Hunter 19 times in a game last year. It doesn't matter who the opponent was. We were begging him to do it. So I think that they went back to in the second half not wanting to give anything away. And so I did see what I wanted to because in the second quarter, they started to pour it on and they scored 21 points in that quarter. And I think that's all the coaching staff needed to see. They didn't need to go out there and cover the spread. They weren't trying to point shave like the refs seem to be doing every freaking week. Okay, with a
Every week.
phantom pass interference. I was just about to text you, hey, the rest have been doing pretty good, and then they go and throw the phantom pass interference where the receiver bumped into
That was such
the
crap.
defensive back. But all in
That was
all,
classic Dwayne Wade.
it was whatever. Do not upset our Miami Heat base because I'm sure there's some out there that are watching this. Dwayne Wade was a master at that. I agree, but don't even, okay? Don't even mess with my Miami Heat. So all in all, though, the offense was what I wanted to see. I would have liked to see Cam Coleman actually catch the first pass that was thrown to him. It seems to always be high, but he always hits a hand on it, and it always almost leads to an
Yeah.
interception, if not an interception. So I do think that needs to get cleaned up. He has not been playing like the second best wide receiver in the country so far, to be perfectly honest. So I am going to be a little critical on that front. But Eric Singleton is everything. Everything is advertised.
So how can you be so high on Eric Singleton when Eric Singleton and Cam Coleman have the exact same receiving yards on the season?
Because I've also seen Eric Singleton run jet sweeps, and I've also seen him just look and flash getting open. Yes, they have the same yardage, but Eric Singleton just looks
And
like
like
that
two
guy
more
that we
catches.
got out of the portal. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm not knocking him. I'm
Yeah,
not knocking Eric Singleton. I love it. I'm just saying, like, how can you be so high on one guy when the other guy has the exact same receiving yards with
because
two
we're
less catches?
okay. I think what it is I'm being a little critical. I agree. I am. Okay, 100% am. But we're forcing the ball to Cam Coleman, whereas to Eric Singleton, it seems in the passing game. I'm not counting the jet sweeps because those, yeah, we are forcing it to him. But he is making the whole defense shift with him on those. But in the passing game, he is just getting open. And we just have not seen something like that from a wide receiver in a long time. That's why I'm high. I'm not talking about stats. I'm not talking about, touchdowns or anything like that. It is purely the eye test. And Eric Singleton is passing the eye test right now. That's what I'm talking about.
I get it. Yeah, Eric Singleton is also getting the more elaborate routes than Cam Coleman. Cam Coleman's either on a comeback or a streak, and every now and then he'll be the hot route on an RPO. But I agree with you, but I really don't think there's anything to be concerned with Cam Coleman. He's doing his damn job, and
Again,
he's getting
nitpicky.
yardage and touchdowns from it.
I'm being nitpicky and a little on the critical
Very.
side. Yeah. It's just the one little tiny thing I wanted to say. Well, with all of that being said though, I was pretty pleased with the game. I I think we're ready for Oklahoma. I think the entire fan base is ready for this game. I think we're all at the point now to where it's kind of had that build up that the Baylor game had of like, hey, all right, let's get to it. Let's just get it over and done with so we can see what we're up against because Oklahoma looks like a pretty good team. And I think everybody's ready to see where we stack up against an Oklahoma team that beat a Michigan team, although a little higher ranked than Michigan probably should have been at the time, but a ranked Michigan team. So I think we want to get that litmus test.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
I agree.
yep.
And I'm ready for it.
And once again, watch that video. It's going to be coming out tomorrow. Like and subscribe so that way you get and then also click on the notification bell so that way you are notified whenever our videos do drop each week. Right now we're releasing 2 a week come basketball season. Once that starts up, we're going to be releasing 3 a week. We're going to be busy as all get out, but it is going to be a great time to be an Auburn Tiger. And with that, Josh, War Eagle, man.
War Damn Eagle.
There goes Davis. Oh my God! Davis is going running all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game.